Every single franchise brand had the exact same problem, and so solving for it made our lives a lot easier.
Welcome to another episode of the Seven Figure Journey podcast, where we explore the ins and outs of the seven figure journey. Today, we've got Wade Millward with us out of Rycor. Wade, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
It's fun having a genius on the call when it comes to how do franchisors ensure all their franchisees are not putting them at big risk, right? That they've
Yes.
actually got the insurance, they've got the coverages they need, and to have just a simple software that solves all of that, and then provide the backup insurance for all those that are missing. That's a big deal for franchisors. They tend to get pretty sloppy in that area.
Yeah, it's a massive problem, oddly enough. Getting into it, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I was pleasantly surprised that every single franchise brand had the exact same problem. And so solving for it made our lives a lot easier because, it's rinse and repeat after that. Obviously, there's a lot of iteration, a lot of innovation that we have to do, but it's the theme. All the
Yeah,
franchises have the same problem.
I mean, it's not really the issues for like your McDonald's franchises or your like massive big chains that have been established a long time. A lot of them are doing it, but it's a big deal for the trades. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a big deal for the trades. There's a lot of what we call emerging franchise brands, and those guys live in the 0 to 100 locations or 100 franchisees.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, we deal, and I won't say any names, but we work with larger platform players that own 10, 15, 20 franchise brands backed by private equity groups. And you'd be shocked, appalled, surprised
Some of these
of the
big names too. Then, boy, I was wrong.
I'm telling you, thousands of franchisees. And when I have conversations with them and ask them about their problems, it's like, yeah, this is something that's on their radar, but they haven't done anything about it yet. It's wild.
I love that. What was fun was understanding. It's like your way in because you didn't come in saying, "Hey, we're an insurance company." Just like a lot of the fintech ones don't come in saying, "Hey, we're a credit card processing
I love it.
company,"
The divvy
right? They're
play.
really
So
solving their
good.
main issues out here.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
came in with a software that gives
Yeah.
the oversight, the knowledge. They can see it. They know exactly where it's supposed to be at, given whatever level these people are running. The software is doing all that, and they have perfect insight into all the franchisees. And now you're the solution that's tied to it. That's the click the button,
Yeah.
pull them in, get the work done, and it solves their big headache. And it's like the perfect channel for you to actually do your money making work. So
Yeah.
a freemium kind of thing. I'll give you a free here, and then
Yeah.
over here, we'll solve your problem, and we'll actually make our money on the back end.
Yeah. They love it too. And what's so cool about the franchising industry is these guys are all very smart, sophisticated entrepreneurs, and they have this entrepreneurial mindset, right? A lot of the people I speak to are CEOs and controllers and stuff like that that are part of the founding team of these franchise brands, and so they actually they appreciate the business model so much
Yeah,
because I'm trying to provide them value, and then there's always a hook, there's a catch, and they know that they always ask like, "What's the catch?"
absolutely.
And I'm very honest. I'm like, "Look, we become the preferred insurance agency, and we monetize by selling insurance, and we also solve problems at the franchisee level with just helping them get the insurance they need without the heavy lifting on their end." And that's a big headache still in
Yeah,
2024. It's a nightmare.
which is awesome. You are solving a problem for customers that costs them not a dime
Yeah, pretty
to
cool.
solve beyond what they are legally required to do anyway. No one
Yes,
pays anything
exactly.
extra for a full solution. So,
It's
what a great
crazy.
model. That's why us entrepreneurs love what you're doing because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I love that. How do I do that with my offering? Right? It's so
Yes.
cool.
Yes, you're
Um,
totally right. Yeah, you have to buy insurance anyway, so it's a win-win for everybody.
yeah, very cool. Anyway, that's fun. Wade, as you have grown your business and built your team, you passed your $1 million mark a while back. Um, what are some lessons after passing that million revenue plateau that many of us hit? What are some lessons that have helped you to grow and succeed going forward? Give us some nuggets.
Oh man. Hmm. You hit the inflection point. You can possibly get to a million without the systems. Once you hit that inflection point, Like it's super difficult in my experience to scale beyond that because you're trying to transfer institutional knowledge verbally, which is darn near impossible as you scale a
Yeah.
team. And so documentation, as boring as that sounds, is actually really, really important.
Can you
Um,
give us a, for instance, say, like in this area of our business?
yes.
Yeah, share one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Um, so we have the success team, our retention side of the house. And it's a challenging position. You're dealing with a lot of transactional business. And in the beginning, you're doing a lot of things manually, right? So I believe in doing things manually first, assess, and then start to create the automations and then iterate after that. And so they're doing things manually in the beginning, especially as a startup. And what was happening is that a lot of that information, how to do something, how to process a renewal, how to process, the entire thing for their insurance was all stuck in their head. And so we had somebody leave, and then we had to get somebody else, and that somebody else had to relearn everything that was lost. And
Mm,
so it just really put an emphasis on documentation, building out the refined systems and processes, all the way down to email templates. Like exactly how do we communicate effectively with our customers? Like everything is now being documented, and we have a culture of developing systems now throughout the organization. Our 20-man team, both
yeah,
offshore and onshore. So yeah, it's important though. It's wild.
yeah, yeah. What I mean, what a gem to share. So, what you just did was you took, let's say, what's our big issue in our growth right now, and when you hit that plateau, one of them is, how did this customer churn stuff have to
Yeah,
happen? We never had
yeah,
this before.
yeah,
Right when I took care of the customers, they stayed with us. What's wrong with it? Right,
yeah,
and then our own team churn,
yeah.
and the two of those things going on, I mean, we just see the profit margins plummet.
Gone.
The joy is out the window,
Yeah,
and it's just a fire to fight all the time. And
yeah,
so boring, non-sexy
yeah.
SOPs.
SOPs. It's wild.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, let's get these things in place. I
yeah.
think that's just a real nugget. And I have heard that from so many business owners.
Oh my
So
gosh,
hopefully
how
the
funny.
listeners are grabbing that, like, really? Again? And guess what? Elite doesn't teach you how to do SOPs. It's not like we're pitching this. This is something that's just plain working. If you're not doing it, you're missing an
You're
opportunity,
missing.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, I love that. We see two things right at that inflection. One of them is processes. Are the
yeah,
processes in place to utilize the people, and are those SOPs and things lined up so every person knows how to do their job? So there's
yep,
one, processes so everyone knows how to work together.
yep,
SOPs that everyone knows how to do their work, down in straight. But another is just the people side. It
yeah,
kind of changes. It's not my buddies anymore. Like, I'm
yep.
starting to get more and more. How have you managed that piece of it?
I probably haven't done it the best as I possibly could. I'm not the best people
Okay.
manager.
Okay, then we're going to hold a second. Let's go to give me another nugget. Share
Another
with us another
nugget.
nugget. We'll get to the people thing on the second half of this then.
Um, man, there's a lot of things I've learned. So I really liked developing the systems, getting the operations dialed in, and then never assuming that what you have today is going to solve your problems for the future. So what you've done today has gotten you to this far, like to the $1 million mark. You can automatically assume that what you've done for the past $1 million in revenue is not sufficient for the next 4 million to get to $5 million in revenue. So you have to be constantly asking. I have a core values, question everything, assume there is a better way.
I
Right. So
love
like
that.
I can accept somebody for what they've done, the SOP, but 6 months later, you better be questioning that SOP to make sure it's improved. So we call it operational efficiency. How do we improve the overall efficiency or the output of the individual, contributor? So like a really good example is our sales guys. I don't have a massive sales team. In fact, I have this contrarian belief in the insurance agency space that I don't have insurance agents. I have consultants. I don't do commissions. I do W-2 because we generate deal flow for these guys. But in the very beginning, on average, they were doing about, let me do the math so it makes more sense to people. I always forget this number. Time. So they were doing about $15,000 of revenue per month as a standard agent, and a traditional agent does maybe, um,
Four or five.
yeah, maybe $5,000 in revenue. So
Yeah.
out of the gate, we were doing $15,000 in revenue a month. per agent. I started with one, right? And I always just question it. And I keep questioning. I go, well, what if? Right? What if is those are magical words. Anybody that's an entrepreneur, if you're not asking yourself what if, then you're missing out.
Mhm.
Because people are afraid to actually ask the question, try something, and then fail. So I'm like a huge what if guy. I just throw things like pasta against the wall to see if it sticks. I'm like, well, what if we can increase it to 20,000 a month? Well, what if we can increase it to 25,000? Today, on average, my guys are right around $25,000 in revenue per month.
You're 5 times industry standard,
Yes, yes, it's
right?
exactly right. No, but
And
and people don't get it. Cannot comprehend what that means. But it's all about improving the operational efficiency. So it's like there's so many things, right, to get off their plate.
but it's also this. So you did two things. Yes, operational efficiency and constantly asking what if and is there a better way and can we do it? The other thing you did was so not like the general insurance. The 5,000 a month people have no target.
Nothing.
Their target is everybody.
Yes.
You have such a tight target that you've now invested, and this is an operational efficiency thing too. You created a software that made it to solve not how do I do my job easier, but how does my customer do their number one job easier?
Yep.
You found a way to solve a strategic question that mattered, and you focused in tight. That then is like the rocket fuel
Yep.
along with these. So I love that. Your what ifs didn't begin with, what if we could move 50% more paper across our desk? It wasn't, what if I could save myself 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't first inward. First, it was, what if we could solve this
Yep.
strategic issue for our customer that wasn't insurance, it was
Yep.
knowledge and insight.
Yeah.
It was safety and security from their side. Then now you're like what ifing all over the place, right? For
Yeah.
your team, and they're like, whoa, what if we could do 50K
Yep.
a month
Yep.
person, right? And like, how would we have to organize differently? So
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
I love that core value. Question everything.
Question
Um,
everything, man.
and to wrap up the statement you said right at the beginning of it, I'll use Marshall Goldsmith, right? What got you here won't get you there.
There it is.
So there's your number one business coach in the world. In the world, not in your state, not in your town,
Yeah.
in the world. He's like, what got you here won't get you there.
Wow.
The formula has changed, and
Absolutely.
we find it changes every time you triple in business.
Is that what it is? Yeah, it sounds about right.
That's about what we see. About every time you triple in size,
Yeah.
that formula has to change. And
That sounds familiar because even like sub 1 million, I remember getting to like 100,000 in revenue, and then we did the 300, and like all of the stuff broke.
that's
Everything
right.
broke. It's bizarre.
Yeah, yeah. And what's cool is we all break predictably. Now, I'm gonna leave the revenue mark. It worked for yours back when you did it because of industry you were in. But that revenue mark, triple revenue. But think triple team size. When it
Sure.
was solo me,
Yeah.
when I got to 3 of us,
Yeah.
when I got to 10 of us, right? When I get to 30 of us. So the breaking happens because of the quantity of customers that we're dealing with and complexity of work. And it has to do with the quantity of people and complexity of working together.
Yeah.
Anyway, really powerful. So, okay, like you said, question everything, what if? This has been one of the nuggets for your growth. The other one was hey, do the boring. These SOPs, these processes are so key, especially after the million mark, because there's too much going around to juggle it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Very, very good. Great insights. So, what are you working on now that maybe we can help you? Because that's the beauty. Entrepreneurship is this: like, I earn the right to have a bigger challenge by solving the one I have today.
And if you're not seeking out the bigger challenge, then you're not growing, right? So like,
Quit
what's the
playing the
point of the whole
game.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
consider yourself an employee of your own business now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so yeah, what's your bigger challenge?
I mean, in terms of just, is the question in terms of like how to grow the company effectively, or is it in terms of like the challenges, the fires that we're experiencing on a daily basis, or just like, I don't know, innovation challenges, anything, or just whatever is on my plate?
I mean, I care about what's on your plate, but if you ask me how you can market better, I'm going to give you the worst answers you've ever heard in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
if you want to throw it somewhere in my strike zone, that would be nice. But if not, give me the things that matter most to you. Give
Yeah.
me the top two, and I bet let's pick one that we can work on.
Yeah. Let me give you one. So this is probably very typical of a lot of entrepreneurs that need a business operating system. I adopted some of EOS, entrepreneurial operating system, right?
Hmm.
Not fully, but it's very nice to have some type of structure. So as I hit these different inflection points, the challenge that I'm experiencing is just organization, to be honest. Like, a relatively good SOPs and stuff like that, but like, data organization, goal setting organization, like making sure everybody is aware of what's happening at all times. Like, what are the quarterly objectives? What are the annual objectives? Is it visual at all times? Like, this is stuff that's in my head every single day. And I'm like, how do I
Yeah,
structure
how do I do this?
everything?
I love this.
Yes.
So let's do SOPs for people,
Okay.
SOPs for teams, and how you lead them. And I love that you brought up like an EOS, an operating system, and I think that's a great place to start and think. But I want to take it to the next level. So let's say that's a version 1.0 on your
Sure.
software. You, you can kind of release it, but only the people who really love you are going to get everything out of it that they need.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then let's go to the next level, because people actually aren't widgets, and that's
Yeah.
the problem. But people aren't widgets, and that's also the opportunity. So a widget will always just function at how it
Mm.
was designed to function.
Mm-hmm.
It will
Wait, people
just
don't
do
do
that
that?
thing. No,
They're not. What?
isn't that funny?
Oh my gosh.
People have this crazy ability
Yeah.
to ratchet back and only give you what they have to get the return they want out of you,
Mm-hmm.
or to push it forward and give you 3 and 10x what you bargained for.
Mm-hmm.
Same person, same role. We watch it over and over again. And
Yep.
so a basic system, which would be like a scaling up, an EOS, some of these, which are great, how much I appreciate them. Those will get you what you paid for.
Yep.
Okay. People in their role, they are there to help ensure every widget is in line to do what they were hired to do.
Yep.
Great. I like to say it's the kind of like controlling my team.
Yeah. Would you say it's like a command and what's it called?
Command, control, structure, and
Command
style.
control
That's right.
structure. Interesting. Yeah.
That's how it's built and what it's done. It's there to say, here's the mission.
Yeah.
And the mission is these revenues, these profits, these things, right? Even on a VTO, 10 years, here's going to be our
Yeah.
revenue, our size, or whatever. And here is your role within them. And we're all choosing what we're going to work on for this time. And
Sure.
here's our rhythm to ensure we all work it. And everyone's like, okay. And for this, I get my paycheck. It is important, and I hope you're doing things that have the management structure in place to ensure your business is run the way you've created it for today.
Yep.
But if you want to ask, what if you want to ask, could we do more?
Yep.
How do I expand this person's capability? How do I release their
Yep.
potential, right?
Yep.
If you want to ask that, you can't command and control that. You do need processes to control and ensure they run, but you need to instead inspire and free it up. So there's a visionary leadership side. Visionary leadership doesn't exist as much in these other systems because
Mm-hmm.
they're generic. They're meant to work for any kind of business. If you
Yep.
want to go to a visionary leadership side where it's like, whoa, these people, they on their own are questioning, what if, what could I,
Yep.
what could we
Absolutely.
achieve? They're in the shower solving your business issues
Yes.
because they care about it, right? And it's
Yeah.
right. To do that, you have to tap into something higher than your own profits and revenue, which is what those measures do. When you think
Mm-hmm.
about the missions and how they're set up, right? You've got to instead tap into things that are part of every human being, which is a desire to have meaning in life,
Yep. Yep.
belong, and have a sense of contribution to something that matters. Otherwise, they get pay from you to go and pursue meaning outside
Yeah.
of work. Okay.
And you would say that these three things are what's intrinsically motivating to them, so they actually perform more than
Those
just
are
extrinsic motivational factors.
those are intrinsically motivating. Those extrinsic need to not get in the way, and they should
Yeah.
grease the skids.
Yeah.
But the direction that thing's going to go, it's all on this other stuff.
Now,
So, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, these three things. Would you call this autonomy? Is it structured autonomy? Like what's your thought on that?
Yeah, let's walk through them. And absolutely. But it's also inviting them in on things that they haven't been trusted with in the past.
Sure. Sure.
And so, but careful. This is like nuclear fission, right? Like you're about to release a lot of stuff. It could go lots of directions.
Well, yeah, I'm super curious because I want to understand this better because I've tried autonomy stuff in the past and I probably did it totally wrong and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah. Great.
It was not
Great.
good.
Let's play with this. So the thing is what's required is just like if you were doing on a, like a nuclear fusion or fission kind of thing, right? If you're doing something like that, is that they have the energy channeled,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not allowed to just go anywhere it goes. If it goes anywhere, it causes disaster.
There's guardrails.
It's got its guardrails. And the guardrails aren't, in that situation, those guardrails are forced. You just can't force the human hand very much.
Yeah.
Not consistently. You'd have to stand there and hold your thumb on them all day. So here's how we align instead of force. So we build the guardrails that get people to determine and decide themselves that they want to follow it. So the first thing is we need a purpose or a why that everybody in the company shares.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that why needs to be higher than profits.
Yeah.
Profits serve the why. So we get very clear about this, and there's a way to co-create that with your team.
And is this considered the vision?
Yes.
Okay.
So the vision, purpose, values, and mission give meaning, belonging, sense of contribution. So let's go through this. So this why, this idea that there's something greater than me that I will serve. As a business owner, I will sacrifice for that over any personal gain.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else on my team would do the same.
Yep.
I need that if I'm going to have them think and act like a business owner in line with me instead of just in competition with me.
Yep.
Okay, so we have to have this purpose. Then these core values, you already named one, right? I mean, you've got question everything. Imagine if you had even one person on your team. In fact, you may be able to think of one person on your team right now that you're like, they don't question everything. And so you can't really trust them with very much. You can't afford to have those people on your team. They have core values already inside them. They haven't articulated them maybe that match another business. Help them find that place.
Yeah.
Get everybody aligned on your 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 core values, not too many. Let's get them really aligned and in a practical way. They have SOPs and processes to ensure we don't hire anyone who doesn't follow that the onboarding is all in line with that their daily coaching and leading is in line with that we have ways of doing that, right? So that needs to all be in place. Then the mission needs to be a meaningful mission. So let's say your purpose in your space was something like free up more great entrepreneurs to scale through franchising.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much business thinking. Let's go higher than that. Let's say it's something like, I don't know what drives you. Wade, when you're not in work, what matters most to you? What are the things you're like, when I have this impact, I could do this all day. I got energy. It just grows.
I have like if you're asking what my why is, I have several whys.
Yeah. Give me a why.
Yeah, this is probably my own personal why. One of my whys of starting the business is to help other people realize their full potential.
Okay, so we're just going to stick with it. And the reason I am is my why as a business is to help others realize potential, become aware of, and make
There.
it real. So I'm going to stick
Yeah.
with it because I can talk about that all day,
All day,
right?
all day.
So that's my guiding why. Well,
That's it.
my mission as a business is to realize potential 1,500 times by the end of 2026.
Yeah.
And we're tracking it. We've defined for this mission, for this, next whatever year and a half or something, we've defined exactly, or 2.5 years, we've defined exactly what we're going to measure as a realized potential.
Yeah.
Um, and there are others who are like, man, look at all these realized potential. We don't even count them. Like, we know, but our mission's counting these. We're going to celebrate those, but these are the ones we're tracking.
Yep.
So when we're talking about doing more clients and retaining our clients and figuring out how to serve better and better, and then be able to expand, so we need greater margins to invest more, to expand more. My team's always thinking, because then what if?
Yeah.
What if, right?
Yeah.
We could do that much more, right? This is a stretch out there goal. Now, it happens to align with the revenue number. It does align with
Absolutely.
some of these other things. And those are my mission goals. That mission goals place is where an EOS begins
Mm-hmm.
their work.
Yeah.
But it's this other work before that, when
Yep.
paired, you now have a really great solution
Yeah.
and a process to lead people daily, right?
Yep.
To help, and then we have systems and things in place to help with that. But thinking through that, if we want to get our team and we want to have process in place, I love the use some kind of management system to ensure the daily operations is working right.
Yep.
But you need a people and strategic system that's thinking about what if for the future, for the people, and for your business, the new machine that has to be built, because what got us here won't get us there.
Yeah.
We need to have a rhythm in place. And now I have a place that not just are we all aligned, we have some, you were saying, like guardrails, we have alignment, so people are moving the right direction. But then there are systems and processes you can put in place that invite them into the key and highest level strategic decisions and issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have a line employee in the middle of making one of those things
Absolutely.
happen, and they're just becoming, they're growing fast, they're loving it, they're
Yeah.
engaged. That's exciting. And that's the kind of stuff that you can build and do. And so I do like the direction you're going to. I would just ensure that we've got this laid out in a way that they're part of it, that their
Yeah.
fingerprints are on it.
Yeah, the fingerprints are interesting. I established core values at inception, right? The very, very beginning
Good,
is that they
good.
were a reflection of who I am personally.
Yeah,
And then the mission and vision, we got that done pretty early on, but we've like, just, it's funny that we brought this up right now because we're actually looking at the mission and vision, and all of a sudden it didn't make any sense to me. Like, it fell out of alignment, and I'm like, there's no feeling here. This is like,
yeah,
I don't know. We just came up
yeah.
with something. It's good. And
It it
it means
served
something.
what it was
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. And
Yeah, but I started reading, like, Elon Musk blows everybody's out of the water, where he talks about making humanity interplanetary. I'm like, okay, but you can get behind, like, I'll sign up to do that.
that's right.
What job can I get? The janitor job? And I'm like, mine, like, when we talk about it in my company, nobody feels that. Even I don't feel that way with my mission and vision. So we're actively working on
Yeah.
getting
So
something.
so as you are, there's a process to co-create with them. And I want you to, when we talk about our vision, it's supposed to last, like Jim Collins. He talks about these things
Yeah.
lasting for 100 years, your
100
purpose and your
years,
mission for
right?
5, 10 years. It's supposed to really be sticky and grab.
If you
That's
get it
that's
right the
lovely.
first time.
There's no such thing
Yeah.
as get it right the first time. All
Really
you're
hard.
doing is maturing. And you're
Yes.
taking it to the next level and the next level. And again, every time you triple in size, step back and review together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Sam's.
the
Yeah.
is the purpose? Is it really capturing it, or could this be more inspiring? Grab us even more.
Yes.
More than likely, it's not throwing this away. It's probably stepping up a level, a
It's
little
stepping up a
further,
level.
a greater reach.
There's a higher purpose, right?
That's
Like, it's
right. That's right.
yeah, and you evolve too, and that's kind of where we're headed right now with that.
And you evolved from a solopreneur starting up
Don't
to
not yet.
now a team that we want them to buy into this.
Yeah.
Let's build it around a process that they can really help to create it. So
Yeah.
and we do a thing. We'll take people through every month this process, and there are some who come back. They're like, "It's time to rework ours." All right, let's
Wow.
revisit. And
Yeah.
often there's just minor tweaks, but you watch the whole team leans in,
They lean
and you're
in. I
like,
know.
"It happened. It
Yeah.
sparked."
Yeah.
And then you've got the energy, and you're moving, and it's time to what if all over because now they want to dream big again.
Yeah.
So I love that you're reconsidering it right now, and let's call that your third and final nugget to share with the group is that
There you go.
there's times to step back and say, is it time to dream bigger? Is it time to get clearer? And I
Yeah.
think on the regular, it's time to get clearer. And if the overall vision needs some tweaking, the above just the profits and margins and stuff, but that bigger, if it needs some tweaking, take the time and step away from the daily grind to do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right? Step away.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's going to wrap it up. I just like, man, wait, I think we could, and I just had a Portuguese phrase, bate papa, all day on this. We could just kind of like talk this over and think it through back and forth. That was a lot of fun for me. Thank you, Wade. If some of these business owners listening are like, I'm franchising, I'm doing this stuff. How do I get in touch with Wade's group? How do I find out a little bit more about Rycor? How do they find you? How do they get in contact?
Yeah. Easy way is protectmyfranchise.com. That's the website. My email, wade@rycor.io. And then I'm on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Wade. What a great conversation today. That wraps up this episode of the Seven Figure Journey podcast. For the listeners, if you found value in some of the things that Wade shared with us today, please like, share, do whatever's necessary to get to other great business owners out there. And especially to those with franchises, think about getting in touch with Wade and his team.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
Until next time, keep striving, keep learning, keep growing, and keep caring.